There comes a time when life speaks not in noise, but in quiet instruction. When you're still enough to hear what matters, you begin to notice a pattern. Peace, wisdom, and direction always begin in three places: your mind, your mouth, and your money. And when God speaks, it is often not with a demand, but a gentle reminder: control these three, and I will take care of the rest. The mind is the seed of everything. It thinks before the words are spoken. It forms the intention before the action is taken. If the mind is scattered, reactive, distracted, then every area of life becomes unsettled. If the mind is sharp, calm, and focused, even storms cannot shake you. Training the mind is not about suppressing thought. It is about becoming aware of what you allow to grow inside. God does not demand perfection, but discipline. The mouth is the next reflection of the inner world. Words can build or they can destroy. They can carry healing or poison. The tongue has no bones, yet it breaks hearts and relationships with ease. Silence is not weakness. Choosing your words is not fear. It is wisdom. Speak less. Say more. Speak only when your words can improve silence. Then there is money, perhaps the most misunderstood of all. Money is a tool, not a master. It reveals character. It amplifies intention. Some chase it and lose their soul. Others use it to serve and find peace. Control over money is not about how much you have, but how well you steward what you've been given. A heart ruled by greed will always be restless, but a heart ruled by contentment will always have enough. God does not say, own everything. He says, master yourself. That begins with awareness, awareness of your thoughts, awareness of your speech, awareness of how you handle blessings, because when you can be trusted with little, you will be trusted with more. There is no need to rush, no need to prove, no need to show anyone how powerful or successful you are. The deepest strength is silent. The greatest control is unseen. When you discipline the mind, tame the tongue, and manage your resources, then clarity comes, peace follows, and the world no longer controls you. You move through it with purpose. The mind is both a sanctuary and a battlefield. It is where peace is born, but also where chaos begins. Master Heng often reminds us that the quality of our mind determines the quality of our life. To control the mind is not merely to silence it, but to understand it deeply and patiently. Most people live as prisoners of their thoughts. They react, they judge, they dwell, and in doing so, they lose control not just of the mind, but of everything it governs. To master the mind is not to push thoughts away, nor is it to pretend that negative feelings do not exist. Mastery is about seeing clearly. It is about recognizing the thought as a wave, and allowing it to rise and fall without being pulled under. Mastery means creating a space between the trigger and the reaction. In that space lies power. In that space lies choice. Master Heng teaches that training the mind is like training a wild animal. You do not beat it into submission. You guide it with consistency. You observe it. You sit with it. And slowly it becomes more stable, more disciplined, more loyal to your deeper intentions. When the mind wanders, you bring it back. Again and again. That is not failure. That is the path. Many people look for peace in the outside world. But peace begins by becoming familiar with your own thoughts, your own fears, your own inner storms. When you can sit quietly, without running from your mind, without escaping into distraction, then you begin to touch stillness. That stillness is not empty. It is full of clarity, awareness, and presence. The person who has mastered their mind walks differently through life. They are not shaken by every opinion. They are not disturbed by every noise. They do not act out of impulse, but intention. Their strength is not loud, it is still. Their presence speaks before their mouth ever opens. This type of mastery is rare, but it is not impossible. It is a choice made moment by moment, thought by thought. Master the mind, and you master the foundation of your entire being. Let that be the beginning. The words we speak are not just vibrations in the air. They are seeds. Once released, they take root in the minds and hearts of others, and in our own lives. Master Heng emphasizes that the mouth is a gateway, and what we allow to pass through it reveals the state of our inner world. Every word carries energy, either to build or to break, to calm or to inflame. That is why the discipline of the mouth is one of the highest forms of self-mastery. Many people speak too quickly, too often, and without awareness. In moments of anger, they pierce with words sharper than any weapon. In moments of pride, they boast and inflate. In moments of fear, they gossip and slander. What they do not realize is that each careless word causes a ripple, and those ripples return. What we put out comes back. This is not superstition, it is natural law. To guard the mouth is not to fall into silence, but to rise into wisdom. Master Heng reminds us that speech must be thoughtful and deliberate. It must serve, not scatter. Before speaking, ask, is this true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Not every thought needs a voice. Not every reaction needs to become a statement. Silence, when chosen with awareness, is a higher language. In the training halls, students are taught that every movement is sacred. Every breath is observed, and so, too, should our words be treated, with reverence, with precision. A calm mouth often reflects a calm mind. And a calm mind reflects an inner discipline cultivated over time. When you train yourself to pause before you speak, you begin to understand your own power. Not the power to control others, but the power to not be controlled by your own impulses. Words can heal relationships or destroy them. They can offer peace or provoke war. They can uplift someone from despair or push them deeper into pain. Once spoken, they cannot be recalled. That is why Master Heng teaches, speak only when your words are more beautiful than your silence. Guarding the mouth is a daily practice, a mirror reflecting the depth of your mindfulness. Master your speech, and you will master the art of presence and impact. To understand the nature of money is to understand a force that amplifies who you already are. Money is neutral, it is not evil, it is not divine, it simply flows towards structure, discipline, and intention. Those who lack clarity within will find that money, when in their possession, brings confusion. But those who practice self-cultivation will use money as an extension of their values, not their impulses. As Master Heng often reminds, external abundance without internal order leads to chaos. It is not how much you have, it is what you do with what you have. Controlling money does not mean hoarding it, nor does it mean obsessively chasing it. It means understanding that money is a servant, not a master. When you are mastered by your greed, your spending habits become a reflection of your emotional turbulence. When you are mastered by discipline, your finances reflect harmony, order, and foresight. Just like the flow of Chi in the body, the flow of money must not be blocked by fear, nor wasted by carelessness. Master Heng teaches the art of being present in decisions, spend mindfully, save wisely, and give compassionately, to give without attachment, to spend with alignment, to save not out of fear, but out of preparation. In the Shaolin way, simplicity is not poverty, it is the richness of living without excess. The less you are distracted by the craving for more, the more you see the wealth already present in your life. You begin to ask not, how can I earn more, but what do I truly need? And from that question emerges wisdom, wisdom that leads you to invest in yourself, in your health, your inner peace, your family, your growth. The one who governs money without letting it govern them walks with great freedom. The path is not to accumulate endlessly, but to use skillfully. Mastery over money, as Master Heng would say, is not about what is in your bank account, but what is in your mind when you hold it. The mouth is a gate that can open the path to harmony or unleash storms that destroy peace. Every word that escapes carries weight. Once released, it cannot be taken back. This is why the one who seeks mastery begins with silence. As Master Heng often teaches, to speak with wisdom, one must first learn the value of stillness. Words reveal the quality of our inner world. When the mind is restless, speech becomes careless, filled with complaint, gossip, exaggeration, or anger. But when the mind is trained, the mouth becomes disciplined. You begin to choose your words not based on impulse, but on impact. You speak when it improves silence, and you stay silent when it protects peace. Controlling the mouth is not suppression, it is refinement. It is to pause before speaking, to ask, is it necessary, is it kind, is it true? This pause is powerful, it separates reaction from response. It transforms emotional outbursts into mindful communication. When practiced daily, this awareness becomes a habit, and with time it becomes your nature. Master Heng reminds us that speaking less often means listening more. And in listening deeply, we understand more, not only others but ourselves. The person who talks all the time hears nothing, but the one who controls the tongue becomes receptive to truth. They avoid unnecessary conflicts. They heal relationships with thoughtful communication. They create space for mutual respect. Just as we train the body through physical discipline, we train the voice through conscious speech. This training brings clarity because it limits confusion. It brings peace because it avoids drama. It brings power because true strength lies in restraint. Loudness is not strength. Volume is not wisdom. True power lies in the quiet conviction of a few honest, purposeful words. In this modern world, filled with noise and opinions, the ability to remain silent becomes a rare and valuable skill. To speak less and mean more, to replace noise with presence. This is not weakness. This is control, and as Master Heng has said, a single word can uplift a life or destroy it. So speak only when your words are better than your silence. Money is a form of energy. It is neither good nor bad by itself. But the way one relates to money reveals a great deal about the level of internal discipline and balance. As Master Heng often reminds us, it is not the possession, but the attachment that causes imbalance. When a person lacks control over their finances, it usually stems not from external circumstances, but from internal restlessness. Spending becomes a response to emotional discomfort, an attempt to fill inner emptiness with outer possessions. But no matter how much is bought, the void remains. Why? Because the void is not material, it is spiritual. Financial discipline begins with awareness. Awareness of needs versus wants. Awareness of the difference between satisfaction and indulgence. A person who can resist unnecessary spending cultivates restraint, not out of fear of poverty, but out of respect for stability. Master Heng emphasizes this form of discipline as an act of alignment. Your external habits reflect your internal order. Controlling money is not about being miserly, it is about using resources with wisdom and purpose. Every coin you spend is a choice, and every choice shapes your life. Wasteful spending is like a leaking vessel. No matter how much flows in, it will always be empty, but careful, intentional spending is like a still pond, reflective, peaceful, and full. True control over money brings freedom. It means you are not ruled by impulses, by advertisements, or by social pressure. You are not chasing appearances, but building substance. You are not living to impress, but living with clarity. This self-respect radiates into every area of life, because how you handle money often mirrors how you handle responsibility, commitment, and time. As Master Heng teaches, the way of the disciplined practitioner is not one of suppression, but of conscious living. You do not avoid pleasure, but you do not become a slave to it. You understand the value of simplicity. You recognize that true wealth is not in what is stored, but in what is shared, preserved, and directed with purpose. When money is no longer your master, but your servant, then balance is achieved. And in this balance you find peace, not just financial peace, but mental and spiritual peace. Control of money, therefore, is not merely a financial habit. It is a pathway to inner strength, self-respect, and lasting harmony. When the mind is clear, the mouth becomes disciplined, and money is used wisely, a person begins to walk the path of true mastery. These three, mind, mouth, and money, are not isolated aspects of life. They are deeply connected reflections of our inner world. Without control over them, chaos seeps in quietly, often unnoticed until it becomes overwhelming. But when we choose to live consciously, with attention and restraint, we slowly shape a life that reflects peace, wisdom, and strength. This journey is not about perfection. It is about awareness, returning to clarity again and again when we stray. The mind will wander, the mouth will speak out of turn, and desires will tug at our pockets. But with consistent reflection and sincere effort, each moment becomes an opportunity to realign. We do not discipline ourselves to become rigid, but to become free from reaction, from regret, from recklessness, to live with a still mind, a respectful tongue, and a responsible hand is to live with honor. It is to understand that peace is not something we stumble upon. It is something we create through daily choices. And in that quiet creation, guided not by ego but by presence, we discover a deeper connection to the divine order that speaks, gently yet firmly, control your mind. Control your words, control your wealth. In this, you honor the life you've been given, and the strength that lives within you.